dabbling into them or kind of, they weren't things we planned. So now the same was for the syndication. So what happened was that my first experience as an LP had done two syndication deals, only 5,000 each with the same real estate company. Over the next, I was in 2022. Over the next 2 years, I lost everything. I lost 90%. I got 15,000 back out of 150,000.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Today, we're joined by Dr. Lajide Lawoyin, a critical care physician and real estate investor with more than 25 years of experience in medicine. And since acquiring his first rental property in 2011, he's scaled to 33 doors at peak ownership and has recently served as a GP on multiple syndication deals, helping raise more than $2.5 million in capital. Dr. Lawoyin, thanks for
having
joining
me,
us
Dylan.
today.
Great to be here.
Now, you've spent more than 2 decades in medicine, simultaneously building a real estate investing business. When was the moment you realized real estate could become a serious part of your future?
I think that, as I always say to people, it's not something that I kind of planned to do, but there have been moments in my life where, looking back, that was what kind of drew me towards real estate. Number one, it's solid. You can touch it. It's a good investment. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story. My dad was a gastroenterologist, so he was a physician as well, trained out of Henry Ford. He actually spent 16 years in the U.S. training back in the 50s and 60s. I came back to Nigeria in 73, the year before I was born. So he died at age 57. I was barely 15 years old. I was 15 in November, and then he died the very next month. And he died without a will, in estate, they call it. And he died without generational wealth behind. And he wasn't like he wasn't paid or he didn't. He actually had his own private hospital, and he was also the director of a government hospital in the town where we lived. But immediately after he died, like within a couple of months, we went from relatively well upper middle class to the bottom of the society, basically, within a few months. So I had to change school, change towns. So that resonated with me. There were times when we didn't have anything to eat at home. There were times when I had to walk long distances to school from home and things like that. Life just changed drastically. So I got into medical school 3 years after he died when I was 18. So that was the initial kind of shock. And then as I grew along the way and I became older, I was in Ireland, finished medical school in 2000 and then went to Ireland in 2002. I lived in Dublin for about 5 years where I met my wife. But while I was living in Dublin, I had another friend who we went to medical school together who unfortunately has passed away.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And while we're in Ireland and working as physicians, within a 3 or 4 year span, he bought about 5 properties. And I was like, and at that time, they were actually giving us 100% interest, like 100% mortgage. So you didn't even have to put anything down. You're a physician, they give you everything. So he bought several. I was like, why are you doing all this stuff? Because I bought my own single, just 2-bed apartment. I felt I was done. And he told me, no, this is, and he kind of talked to me a little bit about investing, but I didn't even think that he understood it to the degree that I understand it now. So that was at the back of my mind. So when I came to the US in 2007, I was done with all my training in 2010. I just knew that the next step, once I bought my own place to live, the next step was to get into the real estate market. And then I bought my first rental property in 2011. So that was how I got there. So it's kind of a little bit of stopping and starting kind of process. So there wasn't just the one thing. It was kind of an accumulation of things.
Now, 33 doors when you were at your peak, it's a lot of doors when having a very, time-intensive career. Were you self-managing?
That's another story, but I'll kind of make the long story short. So we started out self-managing. My wife wasn't working out of the home. She did law in Nigeria, and then I told you I met her in Ireland, and then she also went back to school after our kids. So she first took care of the kids, and when they were a little bit older, she went back to school and did masters in social work, because we have a son who was on the autistic spectrum. So because of that stimulated her interest in social work, and then she went to do that. But she didn't really work out of the home, and because of that, she was self-managing some of our properties, most of our properties. But that's not easy. It's a kind of difficult job, and we had actually, by the end of the day, she actually gave up when we had not gave up totally, kind of said, oh, we need property managers, which I had been kind of pushing for, because somebody stayed in one of our properties in Florida, in Jacksonville, for about 7 or 8 months before she discovered that she wasn't paying rent. And that's when my wife discovered, after about 6 months of her living there rent free, basically. So, we tried the kind of self-managing thing, and it just doesn't work. So it's better to pay the professionals that are going to manage your property, whatever 10%, whatever you need to pay them per month to get the proper thing done. But we did the self-managing thing, and it didn't really pan out well. So right now we have property managers managing all our properties in Florida, and then we have properties in Savannah, Georgia. We used to have property in Michigan. We just sold our last property, was an 8-plex last month. So right now we don't have any more properties in Michigan. So we used to have a property manager there as well.
You made the transition from the single family side into multifamily. That can, and especially with syndications, that can be quite a big jump. Was that something that was very intentionally done, or did you get invited to raise capital? How did that?
Yeah, that's another long story, but I'll make it short. So we were kind of doing what we were doing, and kind of learned along the way. 1031 exchanges, we learned by mistake because we had sold the property, and then the next year the government asked us for the capital gains tax, and I was like, wow, why should I have to pay this much? Because we made some money, and I thought there should be another way. And we just kind of like, although I told you that my wife wasn't working out of the home, we never took advantage of the real estate professional, because when we talked to our CPA about it years and years ago, maybe around 2012, 2013,
if you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
He said she needed to have a real estate license. So we actually bought her the books, tried to get her to sit the exam, and our kids were young and she never got to sit the exam. So what I mean is that a lot of things we did was just kind of, dabbling into them, or kind of, there weren't things we planned. So now the same was for the syndication. So what happened was that my first experience as an LP had done two syndication deals, only 5,000 each, with the same real estate company. Over the next, I was in 2022. Over the next 2 years, I lost everything. I lost 90%. I got 15,000 back out of 150,000. Yeah, so that was a major joke. Yeah, Falaka is on there, so I couldn't even tell her for about a week. I was kind of to gauge her mood and trying to see when I can let it out of the bag, because that was a major loss for us. Anyway, long story short, I then was, after we had suffered that loss, a few months later, I was, through LinkedIn, I was talking to somebody with another capital company who now became our partners and our mentors, actually, and we still work with them. The 3 deals that I said we did as GPs were done with this company, and we got talking. They had a particular deal on their hands at that time. It was a $49.1 million property in Atlanta, $288, and they needed about a $22 million raise or something like that, and they were stuck. They had raised some and they were stuck. So I listened to them. I was part of the webinar, and I said, "Oh, this sounds really good. This is a good deal," but I couldn't. So I just kind of put in the text, in the notes, that, look, you guys have a good deal, but I don't have the appetite for this because I just lost money. And then he kind of texted me back. So what happened? He said, "Do you have time after the webinar? I would like to get on the phone with you." Because when he said what happened, I said, "I really don't know." Because they really didn't explain anything to me. They just said, "Well, you're an accredited investor. Your money's gone. This is what's left of it. Have a good life," or whatever. Good luck. So after that webinar, he got on the phone with me, and he had other resources, CoStar, and he just said, "Give me the address of the properties." And I gave it to him, and he went through it and said, "This is what happened. This is how much it was because of the increase in interest rates." And what I didn't hear from the people that I invested with, laid it all out to me in about 20 minutes or so. And I was very, very moved. And I'm like, wow, he didn't even have to do this. He's not even trying to sell me anything. He's just trying to say, wow, this guy lost money. I need to explain to him why he lost money. When he wasn't the one that lost the money. So I was then interested, and I had to kind of bring my wife along and tell her about it. And then we went to visit the property, and that was how we ended up. For that property, we actually raised about 2.4 million for that property, because we got really interested, got into it. I told all my friends and family and people I knew about it. And being a physician, you have a little bit of relationship with people that have high income network, and you can raise capital from them, but you have to do that with compliant to the FCC. So I had to go through all of that, and that's how we got into it.
Now, interesting, because you had what would to many people have been a really devastating situation. Losing money actually spur you to get into this on a deeper level. Once you started to learn more about being a GP and raising capital in the syndication space as a whole, did you then at that point realize, okay, there's an opportunity for us to do several deals and raise capital, and for this to be maybe a longer term venture?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Or were you looking at it like, hey, let me, do this one deal and see how it goes? What was the
So yeah,
mentality
so the
in
mentality
that
was
first
more
deal?
of do this first deal, see how it goes, and then after I was talking to the owners of that capital company, they just said, why don't you just do mentorship with us? You're great at this. You're great at raising capital. You're great at talking to people. A lot of people trust you that know you from before. Obviously, the people that don't know you, it's a different thing. You have to establish trust with those people over probably several months. Sometimes it takes years to establish trust with people. But the people that have already known me, people I've worked with for years, already trust me because of my work ethic. So they said, you should probably do mentorship with us. So myself and my wife did mentorship with them for a year, and we learned a ton. They pushed us a lot. So when they were doing their second deal, they invited us to join as co-GP. Obviously, we didn't raise as much as we raised the first time, and then the third time too, they invited us. Actually, we jumped on the third one because the second one was only like 2 or 3 months after the first one closed. So, so that was a tough raise because, we just raised all this capital. But the third one, yeah, we were able to do better than the second time. And since then, we just like, okay, let's form our company. We formed our company. So we have a website. We have our list of investors. We're working on our CRM. I have a presence on LinkedIn. She has a presence on LinkedIn, and we're just trying to grow our business from there on.
Now, for busy professionals who are either active real estate investors or becoming active real estate investors, one of the trickier things is that they have to find a balance between scaling the real estate business, delegating certain things while also maintaining their intensive career. How have you managed to strike that
It's not
balance?
been that difficult. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I love what I do. I love the ICU. I feel at home there. It's just something I've done for so long now that there's still some parts of ICU medicine that gets me every time. The human part of it. Having to navigate waters with family whose loved ones are on life supports and things like that, and medical school never prepare you for that kind of discussions, and they're frustrated, and deservedly so. They're frustrated, they're angry, they go through all manner of emotions when loved ones are that critically ill. So having to be the person to try to guide them through that process, and you can't save everybody, and so basically you will lose some people over your career, and having to deal with that, it's just something that kind of sits with you for some time, depending on your relationship with that patient or with their family. I know that during COVID was horrible. I'm sure everywhere, but more in the ICU because we lost a lot of younger people. But it is what it is. But coming back to your question about how I balance it, the medicine part of it is not that difficult, apart from the emotional toll that takes on you. But the real estate part of it was tough. Uh, I thought because I'd done real estate since 2011, and we've done all this flip and we've done all this selling, and then we've just done a lot of different things. I thought it was going to be easy, but there's a steep learning curve to it. And you can't. I've heard one of my colleagues, an orthopedic surgeon who is also into syndication, said this is more like a fellowship. It's more like training. Like another fellowship in training in real estate. Real estate is broad. Some people will do, multifamily. Some people do single family, some storage and all that kind of stuff. There's just so many aspects to it. And it's all a team sport. But there's a lot of crossroads between, critical care medicine or medicine as a whole and real estate, commercial real estate. There's just a lot of crossroads and where they meet, and where there's a lot of similarities and parallels that you can actually just apply the training you've already had to to what you are trying to learn, in real estate. So it's been fun, and I love both part of it. And I'm happy I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So when you love something, it's not as stressful as when you just feel like it's just something you got to do.
No question. We are coming up on time here. Any new projects that you're working on, and then also anything you'd like to mention
Yeah.
directly to
So
our audience?
currently, myself and my wife are in partnership with some other people that we met through our mentorship, and we're currently waiting an LOI on a property in South Carolina, not too far from. Actually, it's in Myrtle Beach, not too far from the beach. And we're going to be lead sponsors on that deal when it's all said and done. So our company is called 3DS Capital. That's three. That's the letter three. Oh, sorry, the number three. Number three, the letter D, and then the letter S. Capital.com. And we actually named it 3DS because we have three kids and all their names start with a D. We have Dasoyi, Damore, and Dakumi. So 3DS, although 3Ds can also be three-dimensional in medicine. We have a 2D echo, 3D. Yeah. So that's where that kind of came from. So we have that company, and we have a list of investors, and anybody that would like to join us can go on our website and join our list of investors. There's also a schedule for you to book a call with us, and we can talk to you about our new deal, about what we've done before. Our track record is on our site as well, of the 3 deals we've done with our other partners. And we just want people to know that if they're hiring professionals, especially healthcare professionals, unfortunately, physicians have a target on their back because they're seen as um, kind of wealthy, although, that's a discussion for another day, because having high earning capacity and being wealthy are completely two different things. But unfortunately, they are targets, and they can, if they fall into the wrong hands, or the people that are underwriting the deals are not as conservative as they should be, then they can possibly lose money like I did. So this is I'm somebody who's been in their shoes, and I know the space very well now. I'm learning more as I go along every day, and we'll protect their interest.
Dr. Lawoyin, thank you so much for your time
Thank you
today.
so
Thanks
much,
for joining
Dylan, for
us.
having me, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.